What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. I'm halfway through another video, which you will see soon, but I've had to stop it because there's a few problems. A few significant problems that need to be sorted, but you'll see that shortly anyway. So today's Thursday, it's 9:30 and I'm down here waiting on Jamie basically. I've got all the other shims that turned up and I've got my cheat sheet up there so I know what I need. But I'm missing 4 shims, which is 2.4mm. Jamie's got a mate who had some, so he's grabbed them and he's going to drop them off down here on his way to getting his bike MOT'd. So once they turn up, we can basically settle the valve gap. So that's what I'm looking to get done today. You know, obviously before I have to tip off to work. There are quite a few videos coming out in a minute. I do appreciate that. But there is a truckload of work that is going on and I'm just trying to capture everything basically. So if I can get my valve gap set today, then, you know, the lid can go on it, we can fill it full of oil and all that other sort of stuff, and the engine is pretty much buttoned up. I've got some other odds and sods that need to go on, but I'm still waiting on exhaust gaskets before I can do that, but that'll be quite a quick and easy job. Main reason for having a big push on this is for Sunday. So Sam is away on our Hindu holiday thing, which I'm not looking forward to at all. I hate it when she's not around. Really do. But anyway, so she's going to be flying out early doors on the Sunday. So Saturday I'm spending the day with her basically before she goes. And then, so I'll be in here sort of early doors on Sunday and we're going to try and get everything buttoned up because potentially Jamie and the chunky goodness Steve-O is going to be down and we want to get the bugger running. All the stuff that needs sticking on is big chunks and they can just go on easy when the gaskets get here, that's fine. But you know, I don't really care. It needs tyres swapping over and it needs throttle cables and it needs a clutch cable and it needs new tyres and all that stuff. Don't need any of that to get the bugger running, and I want to hear it run. I want to see what it sounds like and make sure everything's okay. So that's what I'm doing today. So we'll get the covers off. Jamie should be here any minute basically, but we'll get the covers off so we're all ready. And we can have at it when he gets here. It's 10 to 10. James at the MOT station at 10 o'clock. He's going to have to get a wiggle on. Haven't seen him yet. Right, feeler gauge is at the ready. So, all I'm doing is, ow, oh, that's got a sting. Right, so all I'm doing is, I just want to swap out the shims basically. So what I have done, what is also in the manual, is the crankcase covers off, that's the timing rotor. There's a mark down here on the main part of the engine, and there's some little timing marks on that rotor. So you just stick like a socket or whatever on the end of this nut, turn it anti-clockwise until you can line up those marks. So it's written on here FT 1.4 and what you want is the mark next to the T to line up with that mark on the main engine. So according to this, with it in that position, number 4 cylinder, which is the one on the right, is at top dead center on its compression stroke. So the lobes of the cams is all up and, you know, the valve is basically closed basically. And with it in that position, you can check the inlet valve clearances for numbers 2 and 4 cylinders and the exhaust valve clearances for number 3 and 4. So if you can check them, you can change them. So that's what we're doing. Here's my shims. Yeah, okay. So, what doesn't need a 2.4? Right, okay. I really want to show you this because it's quite good the way. Where am I going to put you for that? Right, you is stuck up there. You're cable tied to stuff that you never should be stuck to. But it's the only way I can show you what I'm doing. And even then it's going to be bloody awkward, I know it is. So we is looking to swap out the shim in exhaust 4.1, which is this one here. So that one needs to come out and we need to put a 2.2 in. So I probably don't need that actually. if I can get my hands in here, essentially all we're doing is moving that rocker up over to the side against the spring, and then just let it drop down by the side of the valve so he stays there. Now we can see the shim. This is 4.1 I'm doing it, exhaust 4.1, yes. So we'll have that one there out, just with a magnet, and the shim just pops out there. So exhaust 4.1, and then we've got to stick a 2.2 in there. So it says 220 on the shim, which is all good, and this is the awkward bit. This really is awkward. So what's going to be the best way? Can I get to it like that? Yes. So with it on the end of a magnet, somehow we've got to jimmy it. Oh, stop sticking to everything. We've got to get this to sit on. Will you stop? There we go. Somehow we've got to get this, without touching anything else that's metal, down onto the top of the valve, and pull the magnet out of the way. Now he's not square on. We have to wiggle it about, heard it click into place, and it is down and sitting flat now, which is all cool. That's the bit that normally takes ages. You sit there with like a little pick like this, trying to get into the grooves on the top of the keeper and whatnot, and it's just a massive faff trying to get it to sit down flat. But he's in without too many troubles. And then we pull the rocker back, rotate it up, so it clears the valve, and slide it back under the cam. So he's now sitting down on top of the shim. So 4.1's done. And I have to say, that one was really easy. They're not normally that easy at all. Right, so we could do exhaust 3 and 4. Right, so I've basically done everything that I can do now until Jamie gets here with those 2.4s. So all I want to do is turn the engine over a few times just to let everything sort of settle down and find a home. I don't think any of them are crooked because I wouldn't be able to get the rockers in if they were. But you know, it's just, why wouldn't you? I might actually give it a bit more oil down there as well. Do I want to do that? Yes, let's squirt some more oil in. It's not going to hurt, is it? Right, that's it. Thursday's come to a close because I've got to chip off and get back to my work. However, we have got all the shims. We think we're going to be okay. We think, but we are going to go through and check everything. But Jamie's going to actually be able to come in tomorrow, yeah, which is dead cool. So what we're going to do, all the replacement shims is in. We just need to go through and measure them all properly, and not how I was doing it. Basically, I was going between the cam and the rocker, not the rocker and the shim, which my mistake basically. So anyway, they've all got to be checked up. As long as that's okay, then, and the gasket turns up, which is the only bit that's missing, then all that lot can go back together and get buttoned up and filled with fluids and all that sort of stuff, and we is looking quite good for the weekend. So we'll be back. Brilliant. Right, we're back. So we've gone through with the feeder gauges, we checked all the valve gaps and stuff. So that's all sorted. So basically the top can go back on. We dumped a whole load more oil in there as well, just because it's open and we've got oil, and why wouldn't you? But we can't put the top one until the gasket gets here, and the gasket is going to get here hopefully today, but I don't know when today, and it's going to me home. So the lid is going to go on that, you know, later. In other news, Sam has changed the tune. I was supposed to be doing the family day on Saturday before she goes off on holiday, but she's now decided she's got ironing and packing to do. And I said, well, that sounds boring. So she said, okay, you can go to the workshop for a couple of hours in the morning. So I'll be back in here then. So we can button up the crankcase. Yep. That's all sorted. We don't need to get back in there at all now, do we? It's all done. So that can go on. I've got had a couple of deliveries. So I've got the exhaust gaskets. Oh, you can stay there. So the exhaust can go on, the radiator can go on, the oil cooler can go on, all that stuff. And then the carbs has got to come off again because we've got to do float height. But anyway, that's what we're on with today. Another good morning has been had. However, Friday has now come to a close because I've got to nip off to my work. So what we've got done, the carbs have come off, and we've set all the, or rather Jamie has set all the float heights on the bench, so, you know, auxiliary tank and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So we're all dead happy there. I have shock blasted the valve cover just because it was horrible looking. So that's going to get a coat of paint tomorrow. Radiator, oil cooler, exhaust, all that lot is back on. I've just got to fix the oil cooler down. There's 2 more bolts to go in, but I do need to chip off. So anyway, I am going to be sneaking in here tomorrow while Sam's doing her ironing because I want to get everything ready for Sunday. So, you know, I can fill it full of oil, I can stick the battery on charge. I know it's a new battery, but just stick it on an Optimate overnight and just see what happens. Just so it's all sort of like properly topped up and whatnot. We'll stick a choke cable on. Throttle cables would be nice. Don't really care if they're on or not, but it's all that sort of stuff. So come Sunday, when Jamie gets down here, we can have a proper swing at getting this thing started. I do want to hear it running. And there's no reason why we can't either. So that's the plan. I'll be back. It is now Saturday. Don't time fly when you're having fun. I really don't have very long in here at all today, but I'm desperately trying to get the remaining few little bits and pieces done. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, you went out. Go back in. Why are you not going in? There we are. There you go. Yeah, I'm desperately trying to get the last few bits and pieces sorted. So we're all ready for Sunday, basically. I've got an Optimate here. We're just going to stick the battery on charge. It is a brand new battery, but it's been sitting in here for a month. I have no idea how long it's been sitting on the shelf at the suppliers and stuff. So he needs to get charged up just to make sure he's got full oomph. We've also been busy doing other stuff. So, I don't know, can you see this? There you go. Valve cover, that's all been shot blasted. It needs to be blown off and, you know, washed out and all that sort of stuff. But then that's going to get a squirt of something black. My gasket is turned up for the valve cover as well, which is awesome. So it is a genuine Kawasaki one. It's basically like new old stock. So, you know, we'll obviously get all that lot buttoned up and put back together. We've checked out the fuel pump. So we just hooked that up to my nice new battery. He wears away, so that's all sweet. And the filter's clean and all that. So we are getting there. However, we might have a problem with the oil cooler. Right, so I'm not sure if we've got troubles with the oil cooler. That's manky as. But what's happened is where when I got the bike, there wasn't any oil in it. And we've had all the radiator, oil cooler, everything else off this. And the oil cooler was just drooped down and laying on top of the bench. So the pipes that connect it up to the engine basically come in the top of the oil cooler, all comes in, fills it all up, and then it comes out the other end. All right. So yeah, there wasn't any oil in it to start off with. We've had all the sump off, replaced the gasket, shoved it back on, and I put a quantity of oil in here. I don't know how much. I don't know, a litre, something like that. Maybe a bit more actually. But the oil cooler was just laying down on the bench. And what I think has happened is that the oil level has come up to where, you know, the level of where these pipes join the oil cooler to the sump. Oil has gotten into it and it's weeping around the top here. It's not a massive amount, but it is weeping. The other side has got replacement crush washers, but I'm looking at these and they're ropey as hell. Is there even one on the bottom? See, I don't even think there's one on the bottom of this. So that could be the reason why, eh? Let me get a pick in there and see if we can get anything out. But if that's all it is, and that's an easy fix, I want to say there is one here. Yes, there is. It's just manky as hell. Maybe that's where the leak was coming. It's just crumbling. Absolutely crumbling. Maybe that is where the leak was. The reason for the leak. Anyway, it's going to get another set of copper washers on here. Just to be on the safe side. If there is one on the top of that one, it is flat as mush. And again, it looks like it's crumbly. So maybe that's all it was. Right. Yes, there we go. It's just all chewed up to hell. Right, so another little job that I've got to do is just charge the battery up. So we've got as much oomph as we can get. It is a brand new battery and everything, but you don't know how long it's just been sat there for. So we're just going to stick it on an Optimate and charge it up basically. It's one of them sealed gel battery jobbies. It's not lithium, none of that. But they're completely sealed, they're maintenance free, you don't have to top them up or anything, which is dead good. You can also have it in any orientation, so, you know, it's handy, isn't it? But anyways, let's hook this up. I just want to leave it overnight so we get a decent charge in it, because you just don't know how long it's been sat on the shelf with the supplier, do you? So he's on there. Plug him in. Oh, see, you do need charging. Right, so he can just sit there, he'll be ready by tomorrow. Happy days. He's on. Okay, time is getting on, it's gone midday. I should have been back a little while ago actually. I think we're in a good place for tomorrow. It's got oil in it, that's all filled up. Carbs is on, fuel rail is hooked up, fuel pump's on, all the lines are in, all the electrics is on. He's had another squirt of oil down the top. The battery on the Optimate, it did come up saying it needed to be charged. And then like 10 minutes later, it's got a green light on it. So that's all good. So I might even shove that in before I go. I don't know. I've painted the valve cover. He's now sitting on top of a radiator curing. So I'm just going to set it on a timer and it can, you know, it can go off when it goes off, basically. I don't care. I won't be here. So is it a perfect job? No. No, it's not. It was just shock blasted, blown off with air, wiped down with acetone, and that's it. It's not all dressy up and everything else, and you're never going to see it in here, but I just wanted to have something on it, basically. What else have we got? The oil cooler has had new copper washers on, so I think we're going to be, I'm not going to know until we run it. But then again, I could spring a leak anywhere. So, you know, the only radiator hose that needs to go on is from this one round to the water jacket at the back, you know, into this manifold. I'm not going to stick that on until the valve cover's on. And I've got a couple of wires just to zip tie up out the way here, but I'll do that once I, you know, see where the valve cover sits. So, choke cable is on. He's on up here, just so we can control it from here. But again, until all that lot goes on, there's no point in routing it through and hooking it up. Throttle cables aren't on. We can operate it by hand. I mean, you know, it's the first startup. It's just going to be sitting on idle for most of its time, just whilst we check stuff. If need be, I can throw those on quite quickly. That's not a problem. What else have we got? Coils, I still need to check them. I've got a multimeter, so we'll just go across the primary and secondary windings and just make sure it's all okay. But then we can fill that with coolant, throw some spark plugs in it and a battery, I think. Is there anything else? Don't care about airbox. It will run without the airbox. I think we're there. I think a little bit of work tomorrow morning and this thing is going to go, hopefully. Really hopefully. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. Sam's off on holiday tomorrow, so I want to go and spend some time with her today. And then we'll be back in early doors. Hopefully Steve-O's going to be down. I must give that man a shout actually and see if he's coming. But then we can get this thing going with any luck. But anyway, that's where I'm leaving it for this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you're well and staying safe. We'll see you on the next one. Laters.